that when you're doing this, you get it wrong, the points go away. Points go away. Second kind of question is going to be the list all that you can. If you get a list all that you can, your group has got it. First hand I see has it next. And as long as you continue to give me correct answers, then you continue to get the point value. So if you get a 3-pointer that's list all that you can, and you give me 6 answers, your group gets 18 points. If you've got a 5-pointer that's list all you can, you give me 6 answers, your group gets 30. But remember, every time that you miss, and you're going to get 1 shot on this, ultimately what happens is that's going to be minus points. Third kind of question is going to be a Pictionary. I want to give you the chance to humiliate yourselves as much as possible. If you get a Pictionary, and there are 5 of them, one person from said group will come up and draw, and we'll have 1 minute. It will not necessarily be a class term, but it might be something that relates to a class term. And then once you get what it is that they've got, make sure that you get what they're drawing, number 1, and then number 2, it turns into a list all that you can. So if you get a Pictionary and you get it right and it's a 4-pointer, that's +4, and then you got to explain the Pictionary or the term. And then you get +4 for every fact, every statement that you give me. Everybody pretty straightforward on this. Okay, so what are our groups? Which one are you in, Ryan? Jump in with somebody. Jordan, jump in with somebody. Okay, what do we got, Duran?
It's just 3 right here.
It's those 3 right there. Okay, so we got Duran's group. Duran's group. Okay, Joanna and y'all 3. Joanna's group. Okay, Neil, Baltzar, and Sarah. Kind of slide back so that I got a little bit of divide between those folks. We're going to have Neil's group over here. Oh, it's you 3. So Baltzar and Neil are floating. Why don't you come up here with Ryan? Yeah, Neil and Baltzar. Why don't you come up here with Ryan? What's that? Oh, okay. I got you. Ryan, why don't you jump in with Madeline? Okay, so it's... Okay, thank you. That helps me out a lot. Now, so Neil, who are you with?
I thought I was.
Whichever one you want to be with. Just go ahead and make the call. What's that? Okay, go ahead and slide back 1. Go ahead and make the call. Okay, Breon, who are you with? Okay, Sarah, if you could come over a little bit and kind of divide it off. Breon's group. Okay, Madeline's group over here. That's 5. Okay, y'all aren't in groups. Go find one. Go find one.
I'm a Viv.
What's that?
I'm a Viv.
Oh, I've only got 5 groups, so y'all go find another group. Okay, go find another group. All right, as we get started, again, 3 kinds of questions. Gianna, could you pull the door, please? This will get loud, so kind of keep it down as other people are giving answers. If you repeat something that somebody else has already given, that's minus points. If you give me something that's wrong, obviously that's minus points, and then we'll go from there. Anybody have any questions? As good can be?
She needs a group.
Jump into a group. Jordan, whichever one you want. Yes, Brianna.
Do you choose how many points, or is it like...
Point value based on the question.
Okay.
Point value based on the question. And if you're not sure, don't risk it. That's usually a good way of doing it. All right, Duran, you got the top line. Just so we test this out, we're going to start with 1 point, and then as soon as you get this, or whoever gets it, then basically pick the category as soon as you can. Pick it as soon as you can. Go ahead, click on 1 point. List all you can. Duran's group, go ahead. Characteristics of House and Senate.
Lower terms, lower ages.
What does that mean? Be specific.
They get less terms. The term is a shorter.
How long is the term?
2 years.
2 years for what?
2 years for House.
2 years for House, that's 1.
6 years for Senate.
6 years for Senate, keep going.
It's 435 voting members.
Of
The House.
the House, okay?
100 for the Senate.
100 for the Senate, keep going.
2 senators for each state.
2 senators, I can go then. Go ahead. Differences between the House and the Senate. Next hand I see's got it. 5, 4, 3. You got it still.
They're younger.
What do you mean younger?
Younger in age.
You can be elected to the House if you're at like 25.
25 years old to be a House member. Anything else?
The Senate is more prestigious.
You have to be 7 years American citizen. 7 years American
For the
citizen.
House.
For the House.
Okay, 7 years in the House. What is it in the Senate?
It is 9.
9 years in the Senate. What's the age for the senator?
30.
30 years. 5. Anything else? 4, 3, 2, 1. Madeline, you got it next. Anything you can add?
Did they already say 100 voting members for the Senate?
They did. -1. Anything else? 5. Anybody? Show of hands. Go ahead, John.
2/3 of the Senate will change every 2 years.
What do you mean by that?
2/3 of the people in the Senate.
What do you mean by that?
They'll elect.
How is the House elected? They got 2-year terms, but how does it change?
They're
Yeah, they're elected. Anybody in the group? Okay, well, explain the Senate to me a little bit better. I'm trying to help you out. 5, 4, 3.
they'll switch out every.
How does the Senate switch out? What do you mean 2/3 every?
Well, they're elected every 6. They have 6-year terms.
Okay.
And 2/3 of them, of the people in the Senate will change every 2 years. So like it's set up as. I don't know. I can't explain it any better.
Can you explain it? Brianna, want anything? 1/3 of the Senate changes every election. And I think what you're saying, and I'll give you some leeway on this, is that 2/3 changes every 2 elections. How does the House elections work? You don't have to answer if you don't want to. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. House elections, all of the House is elected every 2 years. So that's how it works. John, Brianna's group, you gave me the last correct answer. You'll just click the House real quick. You pick the next category, please.
Let's go Congress sequence.
Congress for 2. Article 1, Section 8, Article 1, Section 9. Looks like Joanna's group's got it. Go, Tracy.
Article 1, Section 8 specifically details Congress powers.
Article 1, Section 8 specifically details Congress's powers. Can you give me an example of one?
Enumerated powers are the powers that are specifically listed.
They are specific. Can you give me an example of a specific power, though? Anybody in the group? You've got it next to Ron, but they've got it now. 5.
Impeachment.
Impeachment? Yeah, I guess impeachment would be in there. That sounds good. What's Article 1, Section 9?
Deals with limits.
What do you mean limits? Term limits?
Limits on the Congress power.
Limits on the Congress power. Can you give me an example of a limit? 4.
Bill of Attainder.
Bill of Attainder. I'll take that. We don't have to define it yet. Okay.
They can't declare titles and nobility. They can't give titles and nobility.
Don't worry about that yet because they've still got control of the board, okay? Anything else y'all want to say?
Ex post facto.
Actually, an ex post facto is another example of it. Anything else? 4, 3, 2, 1. Pick me the next category, Joanna's group. And if you'll click the House mat, or click the board, and then the House, and then go back up there and click it again, number 2. And then click, and then the House. And that makes it go dark. That's what I was saying before. Go ahead, pick me a category.
Congress defense.
Congress for 3. Bill of Attainder and ex post facto, first hand I see. Jerron, go ahead.
Bill of Attainder, basically the legislature cannot declare your guilt without trial.
Okay, the legislature cannot declare your guilt, 1, 2, 3, or innocence. With that, in the grand scheme of things, you don't have a voice in this. What's the ex post facto? You've got it.
They can't retroactively enforce a law.
They cannot pass a law which is a retroactive law, making something a crime when indeed it was legal when something was done. You got to pass laws going forward, not going backward. Go ahead, click it, Matt. Pick the next category. Yeah, hit it again. That's kind of a weird thing to say on camera. I'm sorry. Okay, go ahead.
Articles for 1 point.
Articles for 1. Emoluments clause. First hand I see. John's that hand? Gus, jump in with the group. Jump back in there with Beyond's group. Bearcat, you jump back in there with Beyond's group too, because they've only got 3. Emoluments clause. Go ahead, John.
Well, with the Hillary Clinton.
Yeah, it is with Hillary Clinton. What's going on with this emoluments clause?
That she was in the Senate, I believe.
She was in the Senate, and